afternoon, moms and dads. Welcome to Nido's Parenting Masterclass Toddler Expert Tips, presented by Nido 3 Plus. Protect your toddler's discovery with Nido 3 Plus. I am Say Alonzo, the fun and loving mom of Asher and Austin, and I'm hosting our live from home today. Hi, everyone. Hi to all the moms and dads who are tuned in to us right now. I hope you are all doing well and staying safe in your homes. And guys, our topic for today is something that I think all of us parents are asking ourselves at this time. You know, it's been 4 months since the lockdown, and at this point, we might already be wondering, are our kids learning enough at home? I always wonder about that. Okay, Asher at home. And that's what we'll be addressing today, and we'll be discussing it with our speaker. 7 tips on homeschooling and online learning for kids. Syempre, para sa ating mga moms and dads, we want to ensure that the kids don't stop learning even when we're stuck at home. Kaya today, we'll talk about how we can become their teacher mommies and teacher daddies. But of course, tayong mga super moms and super dads who have career duties and parent duties might be thinking, how can I squeeze in teacher duties as well, di ba? Yes, super gets na gets ko yan. Kaya we'll also be talking about how to best manage your time for the kids' learning. Joining us today is teacher Tina Zamora, who will be sharing with us some of the best practices and some practical advice pagdating sa ganitong setup. I'm very excited because teacher Tina is a family life and child development specialist, and I'm sure we'll all be learning a lot from her. Good afternoon, teacher Tina!
Hello, Say, and hello to everyone watching this masterclass again of Nido 3 Plus and Smart Parenting. Welcome!
Ayan, Teacher Tina, sobrang excited kami. Can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what you do?
Oh, I'm a family life and child development specialist. That means we study the child in the context of their families. And I'm also the school director of Nest School. It's a progressive school in Quezon City.
Oh, okay, cool. And I'm sure that a lot of viewers have questions to ask you, Teacher Tina, especially when it comes to learning from home and finding the right resources. For some of us, kasi for me, medyo unfamiliar talaga tong territory na to eh. And I'm so happy that you'll be able to help us with all of those questions today. And guys, para sa lahat ng mga nanonood, you can ask me or Teacher Tina your questions by leaving a message or a comment below sa comment section. And don't forget to include the hashtag Toddler Expert Tips para mabasa namin yan. But before we start, I would like to remind you guys that for more Toddler Expert Tips, follow at Nido 3 Plus here on Facebook, and you can also subscribe to Nido's YouTube channel, Nestle Mom and Me Philippines. Okay? Mag-subscribe kayo, Okay, let's begin. So, Teacher Tina, ito na nga. I want to ask you, ang dami kong nakalistang questions for you,
Sige nga.
Ang dami talaga. Ito na yung number 1 question ko. Different ba talaga yung homeschooling and learning from home?
Okay, homeschooling is also learning from home. It's just that the term homeschooling is you enroll in a homeschooling program or you use a homeschooling program and the parent is the main facilitator and teacher of the curriculum. So say, once you enroll in a homeschooling program, ikaw na ang in charge sa pag-implement ng curriculum. So that can be, definitely that's mostly offline because you and your child are at home together. You can be online together if you're researching things, but it's basically offline because you're together at home.
Okay. So, kasi maraming... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And then, online learning is you enroll in a school. They have a building. Siguro, yun din yung eskwelahan ng anak mo last year. Or in your case, you enrolled in a school he got accepted in, and the school said, online po tayo for 1 year because of what's happening around us. So, you're not the main facilitator of the curriculum. The curriculum is made by the school that you enrolled in. They may have Zoom or Google Meet classes or called synchronous classes, live classes, and they have offline activities as well. So, hindi ikaw yung main teacher doon. Say, ikaw lang tumatabi ka lang sa kanya pag kunyari si Asher magkaroon ng technical difficulties, tutulungan mo siya sa gadget niya.
Parang ano lang ako, parang guide.
Oo, yun ang rule. Hindi ka pwedeng sumagot ng answers.
Actually, yan, nag-orientation kami last week po dun sa school nga ni Asher. Sinabi na, you can be there. Sige, actually, we are requiring you to be there. Pero don't answer, don't teach them anything. Just be there. Just to make sure that they
Ang
are
hirap,
listening.
ang hirap nun, di ba?
Oh, bawal makialam.
Pero kasi it's a new world for everybody say, and talagang mahirap for us parents, lalo na mataas ang bar natin for our children. We want to supply them the answer, but parents, I need to remind you of our goal for putting them to school. It's for them to learn. So if we are supplying the answers, then how will the teacher know if your child is understanding the concepts or not? So pigilan mo yung sarili mo, say ha, pag nag-umpisa yung school.
I will try. Teacher Tina, alam mo, tama ka dyan na very important talaga yung continued learning at home. Basta tayo, nag-guide lang tayo, di ba, as parents.
Yes.
And especially at ages 3 to 5, we wouldn't want to lose their momentum kasi just because we're stuck at home, right?
Yeah.
And, oo nga. And anyway, ito na nga. Since we're stuck at home, we have to currently make do with what we have here. So, Teacher Tina, ano nga ba ang mga tools na pwede nating gamitin?
Well, first of all, if your child is enrolled in an online class, meron kayong gadget na ginagamit for the synchronous classes or the live classes, na meron din silang learning management system or the software that they use to enter their virtual classrooms. And then, usually the school or even the homeschool provider will already send you either a list of the supplies that you need at home, or in our case, our school sends the supplies for the families to use during the classes that are not online.
Kami naman, papadalhan daw kami nung, like you said, yung mga books na kailangan namin and everything. Tapos, nag-require sila ng 25 Mbps na internet connection. So, mukhang talagang magla-level up kami ng connection dito.
Oo, kasi the reason for that is mabigat talaga yung live classes, no, in terms of your bandwidth. Pero alam mo ang maganda sa online learning naman ngayon ay kung hindi man kayo makapag-online classes, it's easy to upload the lectures and the activities in the classroom, whether you're using a Google Classroom as your LMS or learning management system or any other platforms that the school is using.
Pero alam mo, Teacher Tina alam mo, I want to personally find out certain things kasi may mga times na talagang hindi pa talaga ako ready. I'm so anxious. I am so worried.
Di ba dapat si Asher yung ganyan? Bakit ikaw ang nininervyos?
Ako yun
Pero
kasi first time.
Kailangan mo lang maalala. Let's go to tip number 1, Seha.
Yes, please.
When you're going online, it has to be really a balance of online and offline activities. Because for children 3 to 5 years old, they cannot be on their gadget all the time. So I'm sure the schools are providing an opportunity for the children to have offline activities apart from their online classes. And the online classes should be short bursts lang. Hindi pwedeng mahaba yung online class. So kailangan ang tip number 1 natin ay you have to mix screen time with old school learning mediums.
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
Our hope is still they're going back to school. So they still have to have offline activities.
And kailangan talaga may structure, di ba? I think, one question in our minds is, how do we encourage our kids to follow us, given that they're getting used to having a lot of free time, playing at home, doing whatever they want the whole day and night? So how do we encourage them to be interested in learning?
Well, it's nice that you said interested in learning, no? First, ang suggestion ko muna ay dapat nakikita nila yung energy ng mga magulang nila, that they're also interested in learning. It doesn't mean that when you're an adult already, you stop learning. So nakikita nila yung energy ng magulang nila that, my mom is still reading books, my mom is still joining online classes. So mas excited sila. Pero ang tip number 2 natin sa kanila ay routines. Meaning, you have set a routine of learning for your children. Not just the online learning or the offline learning, But the self-help skills at home, naturuan na ba natin sila? Did they learn how to fix their beds, how to prepare their breakfast? That's also part of the routine. Now, if they have a regular and normal schedule at home, it's easy for them to maneuver through their schedule and to, because they know what's going to happen next. They can prepare for their online class. They're more confident to face their teacher or their classmates because they have a routine that they can follow.
Kasi yun nga, kailangan masanay na talaga sila. Kaya nga ito si Asher, sinasanay namin, yung routine namin sa bahay, meron siyang wake up time, tapos after that, he drinks his Nido 5+, and then after that, he eats, and then takes a bath. Meron na kaming ganon. Kasi,
pero napapansin mo ba sa kanya, Say, na pag routine na yung regular routine ang sinusunod nyo, he's more calm, his breathing is more regular. Pareho nang sa'yo, if you go through your day with a regular routine, in terms of calmness and being in control, mas madali for all of us.
Oo, mas madali. At saka parang hindi na siya nagrereklamo na, yes, that is the word. That is the word. Hindi na siya scramble or parang, what are we doing next? Parang, okay, it's time for you to eat. It's time for you to take a bath. He'll just go there and get his towel and then, he'll take a bath. And then after that, okay.
So napapansin mo, Say, na because of the routines, si Asher parang mas confident siya to do the activities. Diba? Ay, alam ko na to. So tingnan natin, Say, kung ito rin ba yung experience ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon? Did they say or did they pose a question for us regarding routines?
Let's check our comments.
Okay.
Ayan.
Ay, ang dami. O sige, ikaw nga muna.
Ikaw na
ako muna?
Kasi sumobrang dami dito sa akin.
Sige. Teacher Tina and Say, ang homeschooling tools ba can be provided by the school and the parent? Is there a guideline I need to follow when purchasing homeschooling tools? If you enrolled with a homeschool provider, I am sure that they set guidelines. If you enrolled in a school providing online learning, meron din po silang guidelines, Mommy. So dapat meron silang binigay na listahan sa inyo or meron silang learning materials na sinupply sa inyo. This is from Sanay Ali. Thank you for watching. From Dana Lim, so true, bawal daw even to assist. Pero it's for the kids na din yon. But how do I stop myself from helping my child or my kid? Nako, Dana, magiging problema rin ni Say yan. Pahirap po talaga, Mami Dana, but I believe in you. Dahil isipin nyo lang lagi na ang goal ay kailangan matuto po sila. Yun po ang goal, hindi na po grades, hindi na po scores, hindi na numeric. Yung, di ba minsan na nako-confused na OC tayo na dapat mataas ang grade mo dyan, so isusupply ko na sa'yo yung sagot. Now is a time to think that the goal for school is real learning. So, kayang-kaya mo yan, Mami Dana. Okay, so for Say naman, I miss you. May nag-hello sa'yo, Say. I miss you, Brother Ryan, Kuya Asher, and Baby Austin from Yesu Labrado. Ayan.
Hello, Yesu. Hello, Ninong Yesu. Thanks for watching. So ito, may question tayo for you, Teacher Tina, from Anya Reyes. Teacher, what can I do to address my kids' lack of socialization? No schools, no malling, no parks, no playgrounds.
Alam nyo, Mommy, you should also have Zoom classes just for friends chatting. I've seen my students have online calls or video conferences that they're playing a game. It's so nice. They're following a Zumba class together. We really have to be very creative when it comes to socialization because I love this question because it's still as important as all the other domains. That they have to socialize with other people. And since we're quarantined, we really have to make that effort to reach out to other classmates and friends.
Yan, ginagawa rin niya ni Asher. Nag-video call siya sa mga friends niya. Tapos, someone has recently celebrated a birthday. So, nag-birthday party sila. And then, yung mga loot bags, pinadala dito sa bahay nakasulat, "Thank you for not coming."
Wow! It's so na... Ako, tuwang-tuwa naman ako sa dun sa mga learning kits na pinapadala ng mga eskwelahan na hindi kailangang offline lahat. Pwede silang bigyan ng kit, pinapadala sa mga bahay nila with instructions on how to use the materials inside.
Ay, naku, excited na ako sa tip na
Ang
ipapadala kay
daming
Asher.
questions. Pwede ko bang isingit lang itong question? Kasi maraming question tong mommy na to. Meron pa
Okay,
siyang
go, go,
number
go.
1 and number 2. Sandali lang. Ba't hindi ko na siya mahanap? O sige, mamaya tingnan natin siya. Ay, si Katie Ko. Katie Ko said, mixed screen time with old school learning. Ang ginagawa lang pala niya, see, is nire-review niya yung mga tips natin. So let's go to the next tip.
Yes, the next tip, of course. Actually, I was thinking, Teacher Tina, ha, for
Yes.
learning materials, sobrang daming nakikita online. As in, ang daming nagbebenta, ang daming nagsasabi na, bayaran
Oo.
mo lang po yung pang photocopy dito. I just want to know, out of all of these learning materials online, I want to know which one is the best source of this. There are a lot of educational stuff. What should be our basis for choosing which one to follow?
Well, that goes to our tip number 3, which is we have to know our children enough to know what they're interested in, what their needs are before we purchase the learning materials. Kasi, alam mo, I'm sure ang daming nag-gift sa'yo ng mga toys, learning materials, etc. But if Asher isn't interested in those things, kunyari, usually ang interest ng mga children 3 to 5 years old, mga animals, dinosaurs, trains, diba? Or dramatic play, like I want to be a doctor, so they have costumes, etc. But if they're not interested in it, you have to zone in on the interest of your children, because that's the best barometer when you're purchasing learning materials. Because as you said, ang daming nag-o-offer ngayon because of the quarantine and because usong-usong online selling and buying. We need to be very careful to curate our newsfeed and the things that we choose for our children.
Nako, buti na lang, Teacher Tina, we now have the internet kasi it can really be used to explore good materials out there, diba?
Yes.
And Teacher Tina.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, for ages 3 to 5, like my kids, Asher, do you have any recommendations for YouTube channels and other websites that we can use?
Well, the number 1 learning material for children.
Hi guys! Alam nyo naman, live na live tayo, so we had technical difficulties dito, but thank you so much for staying with us, and we still have a lot more to talk about here sa Nido 3 Plus, talking about online schooling and homeschooling. At the same time, we are still here with Teacher Tina. Teacher Tina, ito na nga, we were talking about Google Classroom and everything, and it's so useful right now. So right now, it's time to go to tip number 4. Nako, ito, I love this. How do we ensure the safety of our kids when they are online? You have any tips for us?
Welcome back, everybody. That happens when in Zoom classes and Google Meet classes, that's going to happen to you. So let's be prepared and be as excited as Say when going back. But when you are online, Say, tip number 4 is ensure their safety online. You know, when you're online, mommies and daddies, we need to be private with our data. We need to have our children safe for sites that they're not supposed to be in. So parents should have apps already, like a computer nanny, that will prohibit them from going to sites that are not appropriate for them. Dapat po, tinuturuan na po natin ang ating mga anak na pag napunta sila sa mga site na hindi nila alam, dapat nagtatanong sila sa atin. And that's also one of the reasons why schools ask parents to be in the close proximity of their children when they are online. And you should know the sites that they go to.
Totoo yan, Teacher Tina. Ha? Nako, mga mommies and daddies, narinig niyo ba yon, ha? When choosing the channels and website for our kids, kailangan dapat safety is our number 1 priority. Kaya it's really important for us to review yung materials and yung sites that they consume, di ba? While the internet is a good place to find information, unfortunately, may mga information dyan na hindi kailangan ng mga anak natin. Alang, yung mga information na used irresponsibly, yung mga hindi naman dapat makita, nandyan. So, kailangan gawin natin yung mga safety requirements. Talaga, pwede natin i-adjust yan sa laptop, sa iPad, sa phone. Nagagawa na yan, katulad nga na sinabi ni Teacher Tina. So, anyway, Teacher Tina, ito meron tayong isang question dito kanina. Actually, I read it kanina before we had technical difficulties. Ano daw
Okay.
yung, okay, I read it before kasi kanina. Kasi question ko din to sa sarili ko eh. What can we do? Kasi, okay, dati, dapat 2 hours lang daw yung screen time ng ating mga kids. Pero ngayon, since we have online learning, all the schools are doing it, it's gonna be more than 2 hours. So, paano yun?
If your children are 3 to 5 years old, I'm sure that the school made sure that your online classes should be short and not long. 2 hours is too long. Hindi po yun viable for a child 3 to 5 years old. Alam mo, say, if you're going to ask me, can a child 3 to 5 years old use a gadget for a long time? Definitely, categorically, I will say no. But you have to also follow the times. Now that they're online for school, you should really treat your gadget as a tool for learning. No? What does that mean? That this is your gadget. Nagkakaproblema kasi yung ibang parents right now na when you give a tablet or your phone to your child, automatically ang alam nila it's for games.
Games, yes.
Yes.
That's
So you
my
have,
son.
right. But I'm sure that, they're very adaptable when they start school and they know that it's for school, for learning, for research. They should be just using it as a tool. Now, in terms of oras, okay lang sa akin yung medyo mas tumagal. But I think they should be creating something with their gadget instead of just consuming. Alam niyo po ba yung consuming? Yung nanonood lang sila ng YouTube for hours and hours on end. That's just consumption. So you have to check if the application or the software or the learning management system that your child is using is appropriate for them and they are creating something while they are using it.
Hi guys, thank you so much for staying with us. And again, we are so sorry about the technical difficulties. When everyone is using the internet in your whole condo building, and you just get all the signal. But right, Teacher Tina, it's so hard.
But everyone's going to experience that. Say, alam niyo po, dadating pa po ang masamang panahon. It's going to be a rainy season, so we have to prep for that. That's why it's also important for you to have offline experiences for your children.
Exactly. Kaya tama nga yung sinasabi mo kanina ha, hindi lang kailangan online. Maganda yung nagpapadala rin sila ng mga worksheets, books, or activities that they can do and not just rely on everything on the internet. Kasi alam mo naman sa Philippines, yung internet connection natin. Anyway guys, so now it's time to my favorite tip. Tip number 5, add more fun to learning. Diba? Meron ako example for that. Add more fun to learning. Kasi, syempre, sometimes we forget that our kids are just, sa akin, 5 years old lang, they're kids. You can't really tell them to just sit down and study. Sit down, do this. You have to do this the whole 2 hours, whole 3 hours that, na may tutor sila. Hindi pwede, lalo na online. Walang mga friends, walang teacher, walang physical anything. So, what I do is, I review his lessons from his tutor, and we paint kasi he loves to draw, he loves to paint. So we draw the ABCs, the numbers, we draw a picture about it. So we make learning fun. And I think this is super important right now kasi if puro online lang or puro homeschool, tapos puro aral lang, they're not gonna want to study if it's not fun. So we have to make it fun for them.
Yes, alam mo, say, very important yan. Learning should really always be fun, whether it be an online class or pandemic or not. Dati kasi, fun isn't equivalent to learning eh. Pag masayang-masaya tayo doing something, parang we're playing hooky or it's not serious or it's not learning. So it's good that you said tip number 5. Parents, lalo na ngayon, there's a pandemic, they're cooped up at home. You have to be very creative when you're thinking of activities for your children. And the number 1 is, kanina nabanggit natin, you have to hone in, you have to zoom into their interests, and also, let's be creative when you have to be connected with your children and to have fun together while they're learning.
Totoo yan. Alam mo, given na some of us are just adjusting to this new normal thing, performing roles na hindi naman natin ginagawa dati, hindi naman usual, di ba? We have to make sure that we manage our time well and look out for ourselves too. Ito na nga, we talked about this in greater detail nung how to work from home productively. Uy, nandun ako. Even with the toddler, pinag-usapan natin yan kasi syempre you're working home, magulo yung mga toddler mo. Ito naman, online schooling and homeschooling. Pero syempre, for some of our new viewers, maybe we can also give them a few tips on how to manage their time. And remember, to de-stress. Of course, di ba, kailangan natin yan in life. Kailangan natin mag-de-stress. Kailangan kahit isang oras lang a day, hindi puro work, chores, puro kids. Kailangan we have to have me time because we've got to take care of ourselves para we can give, kung ano yung binigay natin sa sarili natin, like a lot of self-love, mabibigyan natin yan sa iba. Kailangan healthy lifestyle, nag-exercise, lahat masaya. So, sa mga nakaka-relate dyan, don't forget, please give us a few tips na ginagawa nyo. Comment below and Teacher Tina will be reading them out to us later. And Teacher Tina, yung ating tip number 6, naku, tulungan mo naman ako.
Sure. Tip number 6 is set your priorities and stay healthy. You know, mommies and daddies, there's a pandemic and the number one priority right now is everyone's health. So, other than that, the energy of your children, they get it from you. So you should be healthy, you should be energetic. So you have to allot time for yourself. That's also for the mental health of the parents. Alam mo, say kasi with Filipino parents, nakaka-guilty minsan if we are giving time for ourselves, when in fact, it's very important for us to take care of ourselves first so we can take care of our children.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. Yung nga sabi mo, nag-uusap tayo kanina pag sa flight attendant, put your
the flight
mask
attendant
on.
says, yes. The flight attendant says if something happens on the plane and the oxygen masks come from above you,
Paul, yeah.
ang una mong gagawin ay ilagay sa sarili mo.
Sa sarili mo.
Oo, kasi
di mo
kailangan mag-survive ka muna. Tama.
Totoo yan. Very well said, Teacher Tina. I love that. Narinig niyo yun. Mga daddies, narinig niyo ba yun, ha?
Kasi medyo matagal pa bago tayo pumasok sa isang flight, kaya nire-remind ko kayo kung ano yung sinasabi ng flight attendant.
Naka, relax din. Tama ka dyan, Teacher Tina. And we always have to remember the real important things. And for me, I always make sure that I am able to be there for them by living a healthy lifestyle. I exercise every day.
Wow.
Sometimes on Sunday, hindi. Sometimes Sunday, hindi. Pero
may rest day ka naman.
May rest day ako.
But part of exercise is the rest day, ha?
Totoo,
yes.
Hindi pwedeng araw-araw nagbo-burpees ka, di ba?
That's
and
right.
Siyempre, to be able to perform my best, Teacher Tina, alam mo, I make time for doing the stuff I like cooking also, and also, syempre, nagpapaganda, ganyan, talking to friends, preparing a healthy meal, kasama lahat yan, kailangan.
Naku, buti sinabi mo yung talking to friends, because that's our tip number 7. Yes, our tip number 7 is ask other moms for tips. Because say, di ba sometimes when we have problems with parenting, akala natin tayo lang yung may problemang ganon. So I want to suggest to all parents that you have to reach out to your tribe of parents, yung mga parents na pare-pareho kayo ng hobbies or pare-pareho kayo ng likes, pare-pareho kayong gustong magluto, because you need to reach out for support from other parents. Kaya it's so nice to have smart parenting. They have a smart parenting village. They have moms that connect to one another with similar hobbies. Di ba nakikita ko yung mga moms ng smart parenting, very, very active sila sa community. That's what you need. You have to reach out to other parents also. So, ano ba yung kinikwento mo sa akin kanina, say that you always allot time for Zoom parties with your girlfriend?
Yeah. We do Zoom parties. We drink wine or we have our little pika-pika and we share it with them kahit na online. Cheers! Alam mo yon kasi, you really need to be out there with your friends. Kahit na online, you gotta spend time with them. Hindi naman puro yung kasama mo lang yung kausap mo. Siyempre, di ba sabi nila, hindi naman dapat yung puro ito lang yung nandito. Kailangan meron ka rin nakikita sa labas. So, since bawal lumabas, online na lang. Pati yung mga...
alam mo ba with that tip, say yun talaga ang ginagawa ngayon ng mga parents natin sa comment section. Can I just say out some of the comments that they put in the comment section for us? Okay.
All right.
Say, hi to Anya Reyes. Teacher Tina, what can I do? We answered this already to address my kids' lack of socialization. There's another one that my daughter struggles to create structure away from the classroom. How can I help her? Routines. Alam nyo, mommy say, laging sinasabi ng mga parents, parang ang corny ng routines, walang spontaneity, walang surprise. But for children 3 to 5 years old, they need the routine and the normal and regular schedule. That's where they
Kailangan.
flourish. Yes. And last na lang before we go to the question and answer, before we end, yes, to Zarian Lim, thanks so much, Teacher Tina. Madalas nakikita ko na lang yung kid ko na naka-open na bigla yung site. So you have to look for apps, Mommy, to prevent him from going to any other website except for his LMS or the sites that you approved of or you've already seen that you deem appropriate for him. Oh, Mommy,
I have a tip for that. Alam mo, if you're using the iPad,
yeah.
meron dong settings na yung papanoorin lang niya for 7 years old and below, for 4 years old and below, and you can set that. And you can even set, you can even set a time na 2 hours lang siya the whole day, and then mag-shutdown yung buong iPad.
That's
I
great.
use that. Yeah.
You know what? There's also an app na if your child, when they're teenagers, if they don't answer their phone, it shuts down.
It shuts down. Let's answer some more questions.
Yes.
I can try to answer.
Hello, Yana. Thanks for watching. Do you see the other questions? Say. Oh, there's another one. Oh, nako, say. Naiyak daw si Daniel Lagdameo dun sa flight attendant allegory natin.
Oh,
grabe, as a stay-at-home mom, super busy na, adding homeschool, mas nakakaloka, pero kaya. Kaya mo talaga yan, Mommy Danya.
Kaya mo yan. Inayos ko kasi to, dapat mahabasa ko yung mga ibang questions dito. I will just answer the questions.
Okay, go. I'm going to say it to you. Tama?
Yes.
Any tips, Teacher Tina, to lengthen the attention span of my 3-year-old during online classes? She tends to be bored after 30 minutes of listening or watching the online activities. From Venus Peña. Mommy Venus, alam niyo po, lahat po ng ginagawa ng bata sa online class, nangyayari din po yan sa live class. So, what can I suggest to you? Just attend and attend and attend. She will eventually learn to, I need to listen to my teacher, I have to attend to this lecture, etc. Don't give up. Mahirap po talaga sa umpisa, but the regularity and the routine and the normal, if the schedule is regularly done or every day, wag po kayong magi-give up. Ang nangyayari po kasi sa ibang parents, ay bored siya, tatanggalin ko na lang siya sa klase. Nangyayari din po yan sa physical class. So don't give up. Continue on your online class. Okay. Ang daming questions, say ha. Diyan ka lang. Madaming questions for you. Okay.
Natatakot ako kasi mamaya umalis ako sa screen na to.
Ito, Mommy say, fear mo rin ba to? Teacher Tina, are homeschooled kids more behind or ahead than regular school kids? There should be no comparison between homeschooled kids and regular school kids. They're all in school. It's the same. So,
I think,
can you relate to that question?
I can relate to that because when Asher was younger, he went to a progressive school.
Okay.
And then my other friends' kids, they went to a traditional school, and they were saying na baka daw behind daw si Asher kasi in progressive, they don't really teach academics and stuff. What I do is, ako naman, I teach it at home. Para hindi siya ma-behind. Kasi parang I'll do something na para magka-catch up siya. And, each child is different. Iba-iba yung learning capabilities niya. Iba-iba yung progress niyan. So, hindi tayo pwedeng mag-compare ng mga children, mga bata. Kasi, lalo na kahit nasa school ka naman na totoo or kung homeschool, hindi naman pare-pareho yan. May iba honors class, may iba regular lang, or di ba, iba kailangan ng tutorial. So, wag tayong mag-compare para hindi tayo masyadong ma-pressure.
Yes, that's from Mommy Francesca, Daria. And Mommy Francesca, tama po si say, you shouldn't be comparing children. And I also know homeschooled children that have scholarships in Ivy League colleges, and they've been homeschooled from preschool to high school. So it doesn't matter if they're homeschooled or not. Ang dapat nyo pong malaman ay akma ba yung choice ninyo ng schooling para sa anak nyo o hindi.
Yun lang.
Okay.
Kung ano yung gusto nila, 'di ba? Kung ano yung basta i-guide lang
Kung saan
talaga
sila
natin sila.
mag-flourish.
Yes,
Yes.
i-guide natin sila.
Hello to those friends of mine that are joining the comment section. Hello, Teacher Jeff, or
Hello,
hello,
T.
Yana Bermejo. And I'm sure marami ring friends si Say. Okay,
Andyan yan, pati asawa ko
agree.
nandyan.
Oo nga, si Dana Lim, agree with Teacher Tina that it shouldn't always be about online activities. Yes, Mommy,
Yes.
marami kang maiisip. What are the basic lessons I should focus on in teaching my 3 to 5-year-old? You know, the basic lesson of a 3 to 5-year-old is to play. Baka maraming magalit
Yeah.
sa akin. It's
Yeah.
really to play, to enjoy themselves. Kasi ang mga tanong kasi sa akin, hindi developmentally appropriate. Are they supposed to be reading already? Should they know their numbers already? You just have to read to your children. They will eventually read. But my fear is if you teach them to read when they're not yet ready, because they're too young, they may not enjoy reading and they don't want to read anymore.
Yeah.
So, mas gusto po natin ng lifelong reader, lifelong learner, kesa yung we want to advance our children. Now more than ever is that important. Because nakita nyo naman, Mommy Say, di ba? Parang we're all on the same playing field. Everyone's going online. It doesn't really matter. What we want to do right now is to have a successful learning journey for the children.
Totoo
Okay.
yan.
Say, meron pa dito. Ang dami, wait. Is it healthy to give a reward or a bribe, after class? I usually reward with video game time, but looking for healthier reward ideas. My fear with the reward system, Mommy Elaine Reyes, is they will just work for the reward. And we want to teach our children to be self-reliant, self-motivated, that they work for striving for excellence. They don't work for a reward. It's a nice thing, but don't make it like, pag nagawa mo to, anak, ito ang reward mo. Pag nagawa mo to, ito ang reward mo. It means they're not going to do the activity pag walang kapalit na reward. So let's just be careful when we have a reward system with our children.
Totoo yan, kasi ganyan kami kay Asher dati, para lang tapusin niya yung online reading class niya, we'll give something. Pero sabi namin, parang nakakasama pa. So what we do is, okay, if you want to make mommy happy, you have to do the lessons here, okay? And you'll say, oh, can you give me a puzzle after? Can I play with the game after? On the iPad? No, you're not allowed. It'll make mommy happy and you'll learn how to read your fairy tales. That's what we'll do na lang. We don't want to
reward.
Give it,
I mean, that's the reward that in itself. You don't have to give a physical reward because to that mom, you really have to be careful about the reward system because we want to raise children to be striving, as I said, striving for excellence because that's what they need to do and not because may kapalit siya.
Totoo.
Okay.
Para hindi rin masanay kasi mamaya lumaki yan. Sanay siya na, alam mo yun, may kapalit lang. I'll just do
and
something
I will only work
kung
meron. Yes, that's right.
Yes, exactly.
So there's another question from Sanay Ali. I hope mommies will not, I think, put down other moms regardless of their choices. True, I agree with that.
I so agree with that. I have a lot of things to say about that.
That's another masterclass altogether.
That is actually a Nido 3 Plus. That is another masterclass because right now everyone is online. Everyone is at home. So there's a lot of people who have a lot of free time just, commenting about other moms or dads.
Alam niyo po, may
parenting
pandemic.
styles.
Let's just help the frontliners if you're bored.
Let's just all be happy and positive and
listen to master classes like this.
Exactly. Let's just be positive and help people out and not put down other people.
I want to say hello to the teachers from Nest watching. Hello, Teacher Kleng. They just want to say hello to Teacher Tina and Mommy Say.
Hello.
Until what age? Until from Mayberry. Until what age is it beneficial to read aloud to the kids? Until even when they're teens. Do you know that, Say?
I did not know that.
Yes, they enjoy it. I think a lot of my students and my children, they loved reading because they were read aloud when they were younger. Mm-hmm. They were read aloud to when they were younger. So, Mommy, wala pong age limit ang reading aloud. Okay? At wala ring minimum requirement. You can also read aloud to a baby. Thanks for the tips, Mom Tina and Miss Say from Honey Odkuda. Thank you so much for coming over. Is it okay to balance both play and reading? I'm introducing reading and letters to my child. As long as you see that your child is not anxious, stressed, and having fun, go lang ng go, Mommy.
Totoo yan.
Ito, Mommy Say. Should I enroll my toddler to school? I don't know where and how to start his online schooling. Puro lang po siya, ano ito? And I'm sure if that's helpful at all. Hindi ko po kasi alam yung nilagay ninyo sa comment.
Sige, baka alam ko. Ano yun? Anong
Coco Melon. Ano yun?
Ay, alam ko yan!
Ano yun?
Sa Netflix yan.
Okay, sige. Nanonood lang siya lagi ng Netflix.
Alam mo, Mommy, okay, nung bata naman tayo, nanood naman tayo ng TV and okay naman tayo. Yun ang inisip ko palagi. Basta hindi masyadong mag-gadget, pero siguro play with him. Kasi look him in the eye and tell him you wanna play. Yan yung na-notice ko kay Asher eh. Dati gusto niya TV.
They're so excited when Mommy says that.
When Mommy says, we're gonna play, look him in the eye and play. What do you wanna play?
I'm
my
sure
gosh,
they're excited.
He's so happy he'll put the iPad down kasi he doesn't do gadget anymore. Reward lang niya talaga. And then he'll put it down, he'll get his piece of paper, he'll make a book, and he makes books. He makes his little books.
You should put his books in his bookshelf. Para kasama siya ng mga real books.
Nandoon. And then he will say, let's do David and Goliath, his favorite Bible story.
Speaking of Bible story, merong nag-comment, say si Rich Sinoy, we're reading aloud Bible stories nightly. I have a 7 and a 15-year-old. That's great.
That's very good. Bible story, sobrang okay. Alam mo, magandang mga lessons na matututunan dyan at magiging mataas yung grade nila sa religion.
Hello, Teacher Joyce, all the way from Palawan. We have watchers all the way from Palawan.
That is so awesome. Palawan.
I hope I can visit you soon, Teacher Joyce. Hi po, I'm watching from Muntinlupa. I'm enjoying watching Maricel MSB. Hello.
Hello, everyone who's enjoying watching. If
Joyce Villamor, I'm happy to watch this. Thank you to the tips. Okay.
Yeah. Please post below. We have a lot of questions coming up. We can answer your questions. But while we wait for your questions, I'm going to be doing a quick recap of the tips that Teacher Tina and I shared today, okay? For everyone who just tuned in, here is a recap, okay? Tip number 1, mix screen time with old school learning mediums. Tip number 2 is don't underestimate the power of routine. We can encourage learning by setting aside a time in our day for dedicated learning activities. Tip number 3, adapt to your kids' needs and interests when choosing materials online. Consider your kids' interests and learning ability. Tip number 4, ensure their safety when they are online. Set a standard for quality by looking at the details and making sure that they are safe. Tip number 5, add more fun to learning. Incorporate fun into learning activities and make this an opportunity to bond with your kids. Tip number 6, set your priorities and stay healthy. Always make sure to take care of yourself and reach out when you need to. And lastly, guys, our favorite tip number 7, ask moms for other tips. Ask your friends, discuss among your network of moms what works for you and what doesn't. And you may learn a thing or two. Like, sabi ko nga kay Teacher Tina, kunwari paano nila napapakain yung anak nila. Baka may tip doon na nag-work sa kanila, mag-work din sa'yo. Or paano maging mas attentive yung anak nyo sa online school. Diba? Baka meron silang masashare sa inyo at meron din kayong masashare sa kanila. So, don't be afraid to talk to your other mom friends or join a mommy community, diba? So now, guys, let's ask our audience naman what other questions they have. I'm sure nag-ipon na yan dyan, Teacher Tina.
Yeah, okay, wait. I have KN Lazo. How can I encourage my 4-year-old to work books? Puro lang po siya play and toys. Ang tanong ko po sa inyo, KN Lazo, bakit nyo po gustong mag-work books yung 4-year-old? Kasi progressive teacher ako. Kaya
Teacher Tina,
Yes.
nakaka-pressure kasi ngayon yung mga ibang parents, even pag nanood ka ng TV, nakita mo yung iba sa online, nakita mo 3 years old nagbabasa na. So parang minsan, like ako, minsan nafe-feel bad ako, ba't yung anak ko hindi pa nagbabasa? 5 years old na siya. Yung iba, 3 years
But
old,
you also
nagbabasa
said, say
na.
you also said don't compare.
Yun
Diba?
nga. Pero I always say don't compare. Pero sometimes there will be times na you're browsing social media and you're watching the news and then
It's
you
really
see,
very tempting.
Oo, so parang ayaw mo naman mag-compare, don't compare, pero magtataka ka na ganun. Pero talagang, yun nga, iba-iba talaga yung level ng bata and dapat they should just have fun. Ako,
I think
have
kasi,
fun and play.
if the question here is workbooks, it's fine. As long as hindi workbooks lagi yung activities ng bata, then that's okay. That's okay if you can mix the workbooks with other more tactile activities.
Oo, kasi mamaya puro aral. Naku, magsasawa yun sa aral, bata pa lang. Dahil
Okay.
naglalaro.
Oy, dumami pa yung questions Wait lang
Tara, game. Mag-answer tayo ng questions. Gusto ko mag-answer ng questions.
If our kids miss the collaboration and peer-to-peer interaction, how do we help their interpersonal skills? We've asked this already. Mas maganda ang online class kasi nakikita mo talaga kung sino ang magaling sa class. Ay! Bakit ganun? Sino ang responsive? Sino ang magaling sa oral recitation? Napakabilis nilang sumagot sa teacher, etc. Na-observe ko ang 1-week online class ng anak ko at na-impress ako dahil hindi nila nalimutan ang mga na-discuss sa school. Ang galing nila sa identification saka sa definition. Ayan. So say,
yes, what's up?
Let's thank everybody who watched us today. Ang dami-dami nila,
Oo, alam mo, na-access ko na yung questions, kaya sabi ko, try ko nga i-access yung questions today. Teka, magbabasa pa ba tayo ng questions? Or, grabe, alam mo, natutuwa talaga ako kasi, ang dami na nanonood. Problems tayo. Guys, alam mo, thank you so much for joining us. This is probably my favorite, this is my favorite toddler expert tips na ginawa kong Facebook Live.
Ay, my favoritism.
Teacher Tina, kung maingay, tayo lang. Wala nakaano dyan. Pero teka muna, guys, sana nakatulong yung mga tips sa inyong kids learning journey, ha? Sana marami kayong natutunan sa amin. And I hope that we were able to provide you with some guidelines on how to ensure continued education even if the kids are at home, di ba? Kayang-kaya natin itong mga mommies and daddies. And before we finish our session, I'd like to encourage everyone, na you can also follow us and subscribe to Nido's YouTube channel. That is Nestle, Mom, and Me. And don't forget to follow us here on Facebook, Nido 3+. Marami kaming toddler expert tips at marami pa kaming masterclass na gagawin na mga gusto nyong nasa usong mga topics, diba, Teacher Tina? Ako, I'm so glad talaga na Nido 3+ is always holding toddler expert tips masterclass talaga for us moms na so we can do the best for our kids talaga. And they even have a whole series of videos online with Mommy, Marian, and Zia. Super cute! Punta kayo sa YouTube namin, Nestle Mom and Me Philippines. You can check out also yung comment section for the link on their how-tos on different topics and concerns you might have, on raising toddlers. Thank you so much, Teacher Tina, for being with us today.
Thank you for all the people who watched and for those who posted questions on the comments page. So we're still trying to answer them. We'll just answer them in the comments page.
Yes, thank you so much, Teacher Tina. And guys, I am Say Alonzo. See you soon for our next toddler expert tips presented by Nido 3+. Stay safe and stay home, guys. God bless.